Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear all students. This is lecture number 11 about the troubleshooting in tissue embedding. In our previous lecture, we discussed about the tissue embedding, that how the tissue can be embedded in the embedded media in the molten paraffin wax. And in today's lecture, we will discuss about the different issues, the different problems that arises during embedding of the tissue in the media. So the first one is about the tissue orientation in the embedding, how we will set and how we will embed in a proper direction the tissue in the medium. Then we will also discuss about the marking of the tissue, how the different directions, how the different areas and how the different points of the tissues can be marked. In the last, we will discuss about the troubleshooting in tissue embedding. So the tissue orientation and embedding, the correct orientation or the correct direction of the tissue is very important for the proper cutting and the proper microscopic examination. This is very important because if there are multiple layers of the tissue, so it is important to study all the 3 layers, all the 4 layers, all the multiple layers of the tissue for proper diagnosis of the disease. And if only one tissue of one direction or one orientation and one layer of the tissue is discussed and that is studied in the microscopic, and the remaining layers they are missed, so there are maximum chances that we will miss the diagnosis and we will miss the diseased cells. Therefore this proper orientation is important. The tissue is usually placed as a flat on the central part of the mold, and it should be oriented in such a way so that cutting is easy by the knife of the microtome. This is the first tissue which describes the plane, that how the tissues can be placed. So the first one is the tubular or the circular tissue. For example, if we have a tube or vas deferens or an artery or a vessel, so these are placed in such a manner to get transverse sections with all the layers of the tissue. For example, this is a general pictures which shows 1, 2 and 3 layers, and this is the exact picture of a tissue of the vessels, and this is the tunica intima, the internal layer of the tubular tissue, then the tunica media, the medial layer, and the third the tunica adventitia, the external layer. So this is how a tubular tissue is oriented and then cut by the knife of microtome. So this is the proper orientation of the tubular tissue. The next one is the tissues which have epithelial surface. So this type of tissue should be placed vertically and there should be at the right angle so that we can get all the layers. For example, this is a tissue with the epithelial surface, so all the 3 layers and the hairs can also be seen in the microscopic smear. So for example, these are the different layers of the epithelium surface. So this is the stratum corneum, the stratum granulosum, the superficial layer, and the subcutaneous layer, and these are the stratum spinosum and the deeper layers of the skins. So, as we can see in this image that all the layers can be seen in this smears. So, this is how the tissue is oriented which contains the epithelial surface.